Hey y'all, and welcome to my channel. Let me show you how to make these cute koozies using the Loopy yarn. I'm sure you've seen or heard about this yarn, and it's called different things depending on the brand, but it's basically a yarn with pre-stitched loops in it that you can use to basically knit or crochet blankets, hats, things like that. I don't personally know how to knit or crochet, but I have made tons of blankets and things with this yarn and love it. So I'm excited to show you how to do these cute little koozies. You're going to measure out 12 loops, and this should fit around just about any cup. Mark where your 12th is, and then you're going to bring it around into a circle, and with the little loose end that comes off the yarn, you will knot that in between the 12th and the 13th loop to make a circle. Now, if for some reason you don't have a little tail, you can snip the center of a loop at the bottom, and that will create a tail. So you want to knot, so now you have a circle. Once you get going on this, it's really easy. It can be just a bit tricky to start, but you want to make sure that all your loops are laying flat. Your working yarn is going to be the yarn that comes off the skein. Here it's on my right, and it's basically just pulling a loop of the working yarn through a loop in your circle. So after you have it knotted up, so the 12 loops form a circle, you're going to take that 13th loop, then take the first loop to the left of the knot and just pull it through from the inside out. And you've made a stitch. You want to make sure that your loop stays straight and is not twisted. Now you're going to take the 14th loop and do the same thing. Pull it through the center of the loop to the left of the one you just did and pull it up. Now you'll take the 15th loop and pull it through the next empty loop in your circle. That's all there is to it. You're basically just going to do that all the way around. Now you can make this as tall as you want. I've made mine about 3 inches tall. Or if you need it to be a wider circle to fit over a thicker cup, you can do that just by starting out with more than the 12 loops. So again, this is the same way if you've used this to make a blanket or anything like that. It's the same way you would do that. You take the next available loop from your working yarn or from the string of yarn coming off your skein, and you put it through from the center, the back to the front of the next available loop in your circle. And as you go, you'll get back to the place where you started, where your knot is between the first and the 12th, and you just keep going. The next loop then will go in the next empty loop, so that'll actually be the third stitch, your third loop, and then you'll go around the next one and you'll keep going and just keep going all the way through until you get your desired height. Again, this makes great little gifts. You can do a lot of these in one skein of yarn, so it's very cost efficient. Or if you do use this loopy yarn a lot and you have some little remnant pieces and things like that, this is a perfect thing to do with it. So you're just going to keep going, always going from the back to the front, always taking the loop from the working yarn or your long string of loops and putting it through the next available loop on the left. If I am right-handed, so I am going to my left. If you are left-handed, you can go the other direction and it will still work out. You can start going at the beginning, instead of doing the loop to the left of the knot, you could do the loop to the right of the knot and go, basically it'd be counterclockwise. Once you get the hang of it, these are super fast to make and super fun. And they make great gifts. It's never too early to start thinking about gifts. As I said, these are 12 loops is what I started out with, and I tested it on the 2 different cups that you see there in the upper left, and it does fit on both of those cups. But if you do have a cup in mind, you can wrap the 12 loops around it. It should fit snugly. And if you need to take away a loop or add a loop to start, you can definitely do that. As you'll see there, you can see it growing in height. The more loops that you do. Again, I made mine about 3 inches tall, which was about four loops tall. And you want to stop where you started. So once you get back to the row where the knot is at the bottom, that's where you'll stop once you get to your desired height. Just make sure that your loops are always nice and flat and not twisted. And make sure that you're always going from the back to the front, pulling your working yarn loop through the stable yarn loop of the Coozie. So as you can see there, I stopped right where in the same row that we started with the knot, and I went 1 loop out and cut it off, and then just snipped the little thread that holds the loop in place. Now to finish it off, you're going to take that last one that you just pulled through and just pull it over the top of the one to the left. So you're basically taking the loop on the left and pulling it through the center of the one on the right. And you're going to keep going all the way around, and this just finishes off the top as kind of a binding. Once you get back to where you started, you'll end up with a loop and then your tail. And I just pulled the tail through the last loop and then just wrapped it around the starting loop there, tied a knot in it, and then just kind of took that tail piece and wove it back through the stitches that I had previously done. And that's pretty much all there is to it. You see, it took less than 10 minutes to make this, and I love the way it turned out. There's so many different varieties of colors and things that you can do. It makes great little gifts, stocking stuffers, perfect for doing something like this on the chilly evenings. And it's super soft and fun to put on your glasses. This would be something that'd be even cool to do in school colors or something like that. So I hope you have a lot of fun if you'll give this a try.